Hello, everyone. My name is Clarence Napier. I'm the president of the insurance brokerage. I'm also the president at 321 Biz Development, located both in Atlanta and San Francisco. And today is February 5th, 2025. Now, today's podcast episode is going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and also should be very important to people who are looking to grow their businesses. Now, that phrase, grow your business, is really like a cliche, and everyone has heard it. And it has meant many things over the last probably 30 or 40 years. I just want to let people know that recently I saw a video about Robert Kiyosaki and his launch when he was getting started in the late 70s and early 80s and the 90s, and it's Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Now, I am a big supporter of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book because when I worked in corporate America, I started doing direct sales just as just to have a plan B. And I learned so much from this direct sales company, and a lot from Robert Kiyosaki. Well, fast forward, I think Mr. Kiyosaki probably ran into some problems because when you have motivation first, or if you have material that talks about, like, in other words, like a classroom setting, you talk about themes that are important, you talk about why things are better than others, eventually those type of things wear out. And I believe what Mr. Kiyosaki ran into, even though his Rich Dad Poor Dad book was great and the 4 quadrants were great, I think he never had a sales system to help people take a product and generate revenue from it. And of course, there's a lot of gurus out there that talk about motivational, topics, and they say you need to, beat your chest, and you need to walk on fire, and you need to do all these things. Now, all those items, again, do help people in a certain kind of way, but ultimately, business owners need to be able to market their products and services and have a system where they can have a high predictability of closing and generate revenue. Now, something else I ran into recently were 2 individuals, and they will never hear these podcast episodes because they just don't listen to the podcast. And I have so many podcasts, they'll never find this one. And I'm not going to mention their names, but both are very talented people in their own prospective occupations. But for some reason, they can't see themselves as moving forward. They can't see themselves being in charge of their businesses. And one in particular is a good friend of mine, a military veteran who I've known for 25 years. He got the call of his life from a financial services company that was offering him thousands of dollars to just learn, the system, to work with the company, and this money was going to be paid for a year. So we talked about it. He needed to update some of his certifications. I was going to help him with, moving through those financial certifications. And so the next day, he talked to me and said, "Hey, Clarence, I tossed and turned all night. I don't think I can move forward." Now, again, like this guy, if you see this guy and talk with this guy, you would be so impressed, and you would think that this guy could walk on water, could be very successful in anything that he chooses. And he has been successful. But there's something about being accountable in your own business that scares people. And I could say the same thing for the second individual that I won't mention the person's name. To be accountable in your business, especially in 2025, means not just so you have this like sort of quasi, pat on the back, you're accountable, but you're not making money. In 2025 and beyond, and it was probably true for the last 20 years, to be accountable in your business means that when you take action in step one, it should deliver a result in the last step. We have 5 steps: contacting, prospecting, appointment setting, closing, and getting zero cost referrals. Those are the 5 steps. So as you engage people, it's in steps 1 and 2, and you move through 3, you get to 4 and 5, and you want to have like a decent probability, a decent ratio that you're going to close. Otherwise, why are people doing what they're doing? So by not executing steps 1 and 2, contacting and prospecting, it is highly unlikely that you will have success in steps 4 and 5, which are closing and getting zero cost referrals. And as I communicate this even more, I just want to say that 321 Biz Development, even from day one, November 1st, 2014, we have never over promised our sales system training services. We have never done that. And I think it's important for people to realize that there are so many schemes out there. There are so many people that are saying for $15,000, for $35,000, we can change your life. Well, what in the hell does that mean? Paying $15,000, $25,000 in a week-long seminar, you can leave the seminar and see your life changed. To me, that's total bullshit. What people are looking for today is, how can I maximize the steps that I need to take to end with a predictable end result? And that end result, and I'll be honest with you, there are 2 end results. There's an end result if you don't have a system, and then there's an end result if you do have a system. And maybe your system is not the 321 BizDev system. Maybe you have your own system that has worked, but you do have a system. Maybe it's like 1 out of 5 people you meet with, you close. That's a system. That means, the other 4 you didn't close, but if you work hard enough, you'll have enough volume so that 1 out of 5 appointments close. But what if you could have 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 appointments close? And that's the system that we're talking about with 321 Biz Development. So, like I said, there's 2 systems. There's one where there's 2 outcomes, I should say. The outcome where you don't have a system and you fail miserably, or you do have a system and you have like a 20% closing ratio, or maybe you have a 60 to 70, 80% closing ratio. And I think what the barrier, this hidden barrier, people are saying several things. People are saying, I don't know if I want to commit my mental state to a system where I have to do some things that I don't want to do. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one is, maybe I do want to finally fix personal and professional challenges that I have in my business. So let's take the first one. Now, this is where most people are. I kid you not. I don't care if you are a CPA, a dentist, a plastic surgeon, you have a tile business, you have a flooring business, you are an attorney, bankruptcy attorney, estate planning attorney, You build houses, you sell real estate, you are a broker with a handful of agents or a lot of agents on your team. The first one is critical, and it is the biggest challenge that salespeople have. And the challenge is they don't want to commit their mental state to potential failure. And they don't want to do that because they have failed so often or had outcomes that were so messy, zeros, putting up a bunch of L's, a bunch of losses. Or, people that are sales managers and they never should have took the job, but someone promoted them to sales manager and now they're in charge of 20, 40 people and no one's productive. So putting your mental state, on the playing field is so scary to people. But there's a way to get around that. There's a way to solve that problem. Now, the second example is that you want to fix your problem. You want to fix your sales challenges. And unfortunately, that's a small percentage of people. I'll just tell you, it's probably around 5% of the people that are out there with companies, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and they say, you know what? I want to succeed massively. And some people are willing to do just like things beyond belief to succeed. Some of those things are illegal. But what I'm talking about are the 5% of people who they wake up in the morning and they say, man, I got to figure out what happened or what's happening in my business so that I can succeed. And they wake up in the morning and they say, I have to figure out what I need to do to succeed in my business to grow more sales. I just have to. And they're searching. And I have had people that I've encountered over the last 10 years that they have said, Clarence, man, I've been searching for what is called a sales system. A lot of people don't even know what that is. And I understand why. But I've had people tell me, when I met them, they would say, Rick, I've been looking for a sales system. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't know what one looked like if it slapped me in the face. But I just want to say those 5% of people, those are the people who will do well in the 321 BizDev sales system. The other 95% of the people probably can chop that group in half and say 47.5%, and the other 47.5%, maybe it's going to take an epiphany to move them to the 5%. And the other 47.5%, maybe they'll figure it out in 20 years. Maybe they're 35, 40 now, and maybe at 65 they'll figure it out. And that's really all I have to say is that 2025, especially with the current administration, you can look at it two different ways. You can look at it as, oh, there's going to be so many problems, I need to really fix my business. Or you can look at it as, well, this might be the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, however you look at it, people need to fix whatever challenges they have in their businesses. Some people can fix these challenges so they can finally be above water and see some daylight. And then some people may not need to fix a whole bunch of challenges, and they'll just take over and own their market, own their locality, own whatever industry that they're in their local markets. They will dominate. So anyway, my name is Clarence Rick Napier, the president of the insurance brokerage and the president of 321 Biz Development, website 321bizdev.com. The insurance brokerage is insforsure.com. That's www.insforsure.com. Have a fantastic day.